Last September, I went to Berlin to finish my 6th World Marathon Major and collect my 6-star medal. But now, they've added a 7th major, so it's time to hop in a plane and head down under. This is a runner's weekend in Sydney, Australia. Yo, what's going on? Just made it into Sydney early this morning and I'm down here by the Opera House, which is where the finish line is going to be for the Sydney Marathon in the first year that it is a World Marathon Major. This is my first time in Sydney, first time in Australia. I'm super excited. I've got a long list of things that I'd like to see and do, and mostly things that I want to eat while I'm here. I even made a bingo card about it. So we're gonna start doing some of that stuff because I can't check into my hotel yet. So first, let's find some breakfast and then let's find a Lamington. This is actually my second flat white of the day. On the way over here, I stopped at a place to grab a coffee on my way to getting coffee, and the flat white is my favorite coffee drink, and I think I'm in quite possibly one of the best places in the world to enjoy it. It's so good, so good. And then for breakfast, I had mushroom creme fraiche avocado toast. And I don't know if you knew this, but Australia, and Sydney specifically, lays claim as the inventor of the avocado toast. Australia also claims to have invented the flat white, so for my first meal, I feel like this was a traveling to Sydney success. So as I was getting ready to come down to Sydney for the race, I posted something on Threads that was kind of serious and kind of a joke, some stuff that I'm really looking forward to trying here, and some stuff that I thought was a funny Simpsons reference from that really old Art in Australia episode. And in response to that, people in Sydney have responded and replied with lots of other things that I never even heard of that I needed to try while I was in Sydney. And the thing that popped up the most frequently was a Lamington. I do not know what a Lamington is. Someone has sent me pictures of them, and it's some sort of cube. And they said, get it from a real bakery and not from like a convenience store. So one person specifically recommended Flour and Stone to try the Lamington. So that's where we're headed now. There was a little bit of a wait at Flour and Stone, but I was quickly seated inside. I asked for a flat white and a Lamingtons, and I will admit that I really didn't know what I was in for. Turns out it's cake. Really nice vanilla cake that has a thin layer of chocolate frosting applied so that it soaks into the cake, and then it's covered in coconut. And at Flour and Stone, theirs is a double-decker with jam in between the layers, and apparently this is called a jammy lammy. It's a very nice cake. Highly recommend. At this point, I'd had breakfast, 3 flat whites, and a giant piece of cake. But my hotel room still wasn't ready, so I hopped on a bus for my next adventure. Getting on and off the buses here is super easy. It's just a tap your card when you get on, tap your card when you get off. I don't know how much it costs, but it's very convenient and it runs frequently. And now, I'm at Bondi Beach. Much of Sydney is defined by its harbor, but at its eastern edge, it kisses the South Pacific. I know of this beach mainly because of this heavily Instagrammed pool, its reputation as a surf spot, and as the namesake for the Hoka Bondi shoe. So Bondi Beach is a lot smaller than I was envisioning it in my mind, and it's a lot cooler, although I guess it is winter here. But let's see if I can find any Bondi at Bondi. All right, so I actually thought it was gonna be a challenge to find Bondis on this Bondi Beach, but it took all of like 2 minutes. Like the third runner that came by was wearing Bondi. So check that box off on the bingo square. It looks like it is starting to rain now, so I think it's time to hop back on a bus and see if I can check into my hotel. Okay. How do I turn on? Master on off. All right. Finally made it into the hotel room, and this is it. So I am here with Sports Tours. You have to take care of your own flight, but with your Sports Tours package, they take care of the bib, they take care of the hotel, breakfasts, and a lot of other programming as well. And you guys will see it as we go through it over the weekend. But let's take a look at this room. We're staying at the Hilton. It's in the CBD area, kind of the downtown area. It feels very like sky rise and very like downtown corporate kind of businessy district. But it's close to everything. It's close to the expo. It's close to the finish line, so it's a very convenient location. Here's the view that I have from my room, which is pretty nice. And so we've got TV, really comfy bed, a little place to sit, and a lovely bathroom in here. Very modern, I'm loving that. And we've got some in-room coffee, Nespresso, my favorite kind, yes. So this is the room. I am going to get settled in, unpack everything, charge some batteries, literally, and then I either want to take a shower and a quick nap, or I just need to go for a run. I'm not sure which one's going to be better for me. Jet lag, sorry, my brain just stopped working. I'm not sure which one's going to be better for me jet lag wise, but let's just plug some stuff in because everything is just about dead, and we'll decide from there.
Way back then, we saw the movies on a big screen when we couldn't afford to pay the price. We snuck in through the back, hearts racing as delight.
I'm combining this run with a souvenir hunt. It's gonna be a long shot, but if nothing else, hopefully it'll be an interesting photo for my kids.
When did dreams give way to plans?
All right, guys, we made it. We're here to Hammerbarn.
Just hold up.
So for those of you who don't have young kids, Bluey is an Australian kids show that even grown-ups love. And there are a couple of episodes that mention a big box hardware store called Hammerbarn that is modeled after an actual store, Bunnings. And in one episode where they buy the dad a pizza oven, which would make a great birthday gift for someone, just saying, they also buy some garden gnomes. And so today, I was hoping to find for my kids some garden gnomes.
When did dreams give way to plans? Wonders slip through our heads just.
So I came up empty, couldn't find any garden gnomes at Hammerbarn, but hopefully the kids will enjoy some pictures, and at least they did have some Bluey characters in the store, so the kids won't think I'm making it up, that I just went to some hardware store Well, I was in Australia for no reason.
Okay, so it is a little bit before 6 a.m. here on a Thursday in Sydney, Australia. I got up at like 4 in the morning. I think I got up like closer to 3:30 in the morning, but I stayed in bed, tried to sleep till about 4, which is really early, but I'm gonna kind of have to get up that early for a race day anyway, so I'm not too mad about it. And I got like 8 hours of sleep because I went to bed super early last night. I've been drinking coffee and just working until now. I'm about to head out to another shakeout run, but first I wanted to go over the dingo card or the bingo card. See, I think yesterday we saw Bondi at Bondi, Bluey, and a Lamington. So yeah, we got our work cut out for us. We got a lot of work to do here. I think I went to Bunnings, but there weren't any sausages sold outside. I think it's because I went on a weekday. So that line is not gonna get completed. So we're gonna need to find another way. Maybe I can find some chatty seagulls, or maybe I can annoy an Australian enough to get them to say crikey. But I think there's a lot of stuff that we can get done here on this today, definitely for sure. So let's get going. Let's head over now and meet the guys at Pillars Performance.
Pillar Performance is an Australian supplement brand that honestly I was aware of but not that familiar with. But someone had messaged me the night before inviting me to this event. It costs $10 to attend, but that $10 would go to fight homelessness. The run would go around Centennial Park, which is someplace I wanted to run anyway, and there would be coffee. Most of the people there had no idea who I was, so I was able to enjoy this shakeout as just a regular runner. And I was able to make some new friends along the way. This run is going to go into Centennial Park, which I've heard is a very popular place for people to get in a bunch of miles. It's a nice closed loop. You can get a lot of running done without running into too many cars once you get in the park. So this is a place that I have on my list of places I wanted to run anyway. So this Pillar Performance shakeout worked out perfectly. I let the group get ahead a little bit, so I'm going to do a little bit of catching up, but also works out because today I want to do a little bit of strides or something a little bit up tempo, just so that way I can get the legs moving a little bit, remind them that we're still here to do some work. So I made a new friend, Vincent, who's from Sydney, and he told me that when you're here, you're on a path, jog on the left. It's useful information. I wasn't clear on that. It's like Zwift out here. Oh no!
I will stand there greeting you.
After the run, there were recovery powders, pastries, and, of course, flat whites. It was a nice morning with a local runner's feel to it. All right, that was a lot of fun. I'm gonna run back to the hotel, get showered up, and then go and meet someone for another flat white. So included at all the sports tourist hotels is breakfast every day, including race day morning. They open it early. And the breakfasts are usually really solid. So for marathoners, this is the kind of breakfast you want to have. And there are gluten-free options as well as a separate gluten-free taste board, so that's nice to see. Finished breakfast, that was really good. My morning coffee meeting got pushed back a little bit, so now I'm gonna head over and check in because I haven't officially checked in with sports stores yet, but I'll get information about the cruise that we're going on. I think I'm doing either a lunch or a dinner cruise, and then the after party information. So let's go do that now. Hey, how's it going? On check-in, that's where I got my wristbands for the sports tour's lunch cruise in the harbor, a bus tour of Sydney's history, and my ticket for the sports tour's after party. I also got the gift for this year, which is a Sydney hat, and it was a nice chance to catch up with some of the sports tour's friends I've made over the past couple years. My coffee meeting was at Paramount House, a lovely cafe where we double-fisted coffees. I didn't take much video of the place during this meeting, but the coffee was very good. So just got done with a coffee meeting with Adam from Fractal. He dropped off a couple new hats for me to try, and he's from here. So he introduced me to a Magic, which is like a flat white, but shorter. And that is a delicious coffee drink. I don't know if it's gonna replace flat white as my favorite coffee drink, but the Magic, I might have to get a bunch more of those while I'm here. All right, I've made it back into the hotel. They just cleaned up. Room service came through. So I think this is the perfect time to show you. We are in the Southern Hemisphere. Let's take a look at the toilets and see how they flush. I don't know if you could tell, but the toilets here are very different than in the United States. You cannot see the way the direction of the water spins. So we're gonna have to figure out another way to prove that the water spins the opposite direction in the Southern Hemisphere. But first, let's get ready to go on a lunch cruise. We all gathered in the lobby and walked over to Darling Harbor to hop on a boat. Sydney is a city on a bay, and taking some sort of boat trip is a must-do activity while in Sydney. You could take a ferry to the zoo or to one of the beaches, but a lunch cruise is also a really nice way to see the city and stay off your feet. Hi. With sugar? Thank you. All right, guys, so we're on the lunch cruise. I get really seasick, and I was hoping that this boat would be big enough that I wouldn't notice, but I don't know how I'm gonna do with lunch on board. I'm feeling the boat rocking already. This is not good. Luckily, things got a lot easier for me once the boat left the dock. Lunch was nice. I sat with Charlie the Runner Beans and Track Club Bay and her family. Dessert was pleasant, and the views were gorgeous. Finished with lunch. I'm gonna try to get to some of these upper decks. This boat is pretty cool. There's 3 layers. This one is the least windy. It's nice, I like it here. Just came off of the front of the boat. This cruise is called the Jackson, by the way, and it's a 3-hour tour. But I came off the front of the boat and it was so incredibly windy. I've never experienced wind like that. It was so intense. But we're just about done. We're almost back to the dock. And I think I have a friend that's going to be meeting me when I get there. Coincidentally, this lunch cruise docked out of the same harbor where the race expo was. And so I met up with Ben Johnson and his wife to pick up our bibs. All right, guys, we're here at the expo. My anxiety levels are already pegged. My feeling is going to be very stressful in here. I think this is us. Line's super short, if I'm doing this right. All right, that was the fastest bib pickup ever of any race. Now let's get through here and go. These days, my daughter wants me to bring her race merch as a souvenir, so I had to fight the crowds. And guys, we need to have a talk. Messes like this is something that I've seen as a growing problem at all of the World Marathon majors lately. And it's like some of you have never been outside before. I understand your excitement, but that doesn't mean you have to forge through the merch like an animal. When other people do it to you, it makes it that much harder for you to find the sizes and styles you want. And when you do it to others, you're making it harder for them. So please slow down for just a second and you will be able to find what you need without creating havoc. Now, the lines were long at this expo, which is normal for World Major Marathon Expos, but they had plenty of staff to make sure the lines flowed smoothly and that no one cut the lines. But the line did take long enough that once I got out, I felt bad that Ben and his wife had to wait for me. So we did a quick pass through the rest of the expo, but I didn't film quite as much as I might normally film. After the expo, Ben and his wife went to dinner and I went to grab a snack. Australia feels like Asia to me, but with white people in English. So I was curious to see if this was going to be more like a combini or just a convenience store. And unfortunately, it was more like the latter, but I did find a couple of new things to try. I picked up a candy bar I'd never heard of, some cheese chips, and I also got a golden gate time. So one of the things that people told me that I had to try in Australia was golden gay time. So I got a golden gay time at the convenience store. And here's what it is. This is pretty good. I thought this was gonna be, we have ice cream like this in the United States. Or that looks exactly like this. There's like a chocolate version that's called like a chocolatey eclair. I think even though that's the name of a donut, but the ice cream, I remember we could get it at school at lunch in elementary school. The toffee on it is a nice extra touch. But a nice treat after a long day. Australian Threads did not steer me wrong with recommending golden gay time. All right, guys, so I have definitely hit the wall pretty hard. I am so tired. It feels like it's way past my bedtime, but Aubrey just got into town and we wanted to meet up. And so we're gonna go in this building over here, which is across the street from my hotel. I had no idea what this building was. Apparently, it's like a mall. There's an ASIC store inside. Let's go. My friend Aubrey had just made it in from London, but he always seems to be full of energy, so we checked out the ASIC store together and then got some food at the food court. Whew, all right, had some fish and chips with Aubrey. Definitely delicious, and very glad that I finally got something to eat, but I am beyond tired. Aubrey's going to the expo. Apparently it's open till 9, but it's a little bit before 8 o'clock right now, and I am going to bed. It is a little bit before 6 a.m. here on a Friday in Sydney. About to head out for another shakeout run. They do shakeout runs really early in this town. But I wanted to give a quick update on the bingo list. So yesterday we had a couple of really close calls. I almost got lost. I kind of did get lost for a second, but I had my phone and maps with me, and so I'm not going to count that as getting lost. But if by the end of this trip I don't get even more lost than that, I might go back and retroactively add that getting lost. I did have a golden gay time. It's ice cream, by the way. It's delicious. And when I was on the group run at Pillar Performance yesterday, there was a couple people on bikes helping to guide the group, and some photographers as well. And some points, there was just a lot of traffic between runners and cyclists over in Centennial Park. And there was a couple of really close calls where the Australians were getting a little bit flustered by the situation. And I was certain we were going to get a crikey, but we never got one. So I may have to up the ante on that one and try to intentionally fluster some Australians to see if I can get them to say crikey out of frustration. I think today what we can work on is Vegemite. Maybe that's a tomorrow thing. No, probably today. Let's try to find some Vegemite. I think we're gonna find a boomerang, and let's try and find some Morton Bay bugs. I think we can do that. All right, let's finish this coffee and then go head over to the Opera House.
I'm superstitious, but it doesn't have to do with me. Won't waste my wishes on it if it wasn't meant to be.
All right, we have made it from about a mile from Hyde Park to the Abbott shakeout. I think they're meeting over there. My friend Rob runs for Abbott, and he was hosting the Abbott World Marathon Majors shakeout. The plan was to meet at the Opera House and then run across the harbor via Harbor Bridge, if we could just find the way to get on the bridge. All right, this guy seems to know where he's going. I think this is gonna get count as being lost for this trip though, because we don't know where we're going. He seems to know where he's going.
He's local, probably.
I don't know, that guy seems to know where he's going. He says to go that way.
Or he's that way. I don't know.
No one knows where to go.
That doesn't come too often in one life. But if you must.
More stairs. Eventually, we did find the bridge, and the views were worth it. All right, finished the run here. Ben and I are going to check out the shakeout run route for tomorrow, because Ben says part of it's been closed off, and I'm pretty sure he's right. So we might have to make some adjustments. But I haven't run around the backside, or I guess the front side of the Opera House, so we're gonna do that.
How long must I
just left Ben at his hotel. Now I gotta get back quick for race briefing. For every race, Sports Tours puts on a private race briefing. They go over how we're all going to get to the race, how we're going to get back from the race, and then they also go over the course in detail so you know exactly what to expect. It's all very thorough with timetables, maps, photos, and enough detail to make even the most nervous of racers feel a bit more at ease. Sports Tours operates in multiple countries, so there was even a separate briefing in French. And then afterwards, Sports Tours organized a group trip over to the expo in case you didn't want to go and do that by yourself. But since I had already gone yesterday, it was time for me to go to another mall next door to my hotel and get some coffee. I have been planning pretty much all of my days based on recommendations from people on Threads and people that have been DMing me about places to go while I'm here in Sydney. And so the next place I'm going to go to is a place called Gumption Coffee, I think. I'm going to try to get, I don't know if I'm going to go with a flat white. Maybe I'll get a magic. It's going to be a game time decision. But I'm going to get a coffee and then I'm going to meet up with Aubrey again. I think we're going to head over to On. Just ran into the Kastors family. It was always nice to see them. I've seen them all over the world now, and they're very fun to see in another city. All right, everything in Sydney is like in a mall or a food court. It's kind of bizarre, but here's the coffee place that was recommended to me.
I ended up getting a flat white, and like every flat white I had in Sydney, this one was delicious. I drank it on my way to the On Soft Hub, a pop-up that was just a few blocks away. Aubrey arrived and met up with one of his fans who gave him this very Australian gift.
G'day, mate.
He was pretty excited for it. Inside, the space was a large hall with a wall where you could share your running wins. And in the back, they were featuring the Cloud Boom Strike light spray, and you could try on a pair and hop on the treadmill if you wanted. They didn't have the light spray robot there, but they did have this magnetic thing that floated the shoe. The night before, they had just announced the Tokyo World Championships colorways for the light spray, so I had a chance to look at those. In the middle of the space was a coffee bar. I got another flat white. It was delicious. And there was a hydration station with precision fuel drink mix, which I had not tried before. It was tasty. There was a place where you could make a souvenir keychain, which I did for my daughter, who loves everything On. Her trainers are Cloud Surfers, her spikes are On spikes, and her trail shoes are Cloud Surfer Trail. She loved this gift. For lunch, Aubrey and I went in search of a ramen spot that Dina had recommended.
That is Aubrey leaving. He's going back over to the Opera House, I think. But me, I'm gonna head back to the hotel. First, making a stop to get some souvenirs. Made it back to the hotel room. I think it's time to take care of some punch list items here. Inconclusive. All right, let's taste some of these foods that I got at the convenience stores. First thing I want to try is the Tim Tams. I mean, I've had Tim Tams before, but I've never had them in Australia. This is a good cookie. Now I know that's not traditional. You're supposed to eat this on
toast with butter.
I don't have toast with butter right now, so let's crack this open. That's a strong smell. That is strong flavor. I don't understand the Vegemite. Spent most of this afternoon in the hotel room, feet up in bed. Did a little bit of work, but mostly a lot of scrolling, relaxing, catching up on some emails. Kept thinking that I really need to be out exploring and seeing and just experiencing Sydney. But at the same time, I have to remember that I do have a race to run. And now I'm going to head over though, get some dinner, get something that I had on my list of things I must try while here. I'm gonna go and get some meat pies. Okay, it was a long and precarious walk, but I was able to carry all these chips back to the hotel without dropping a single one. All right. At the pie shop, I got spinach and feta pasty, and then a vegetarian pie. Let's dig into this pie. Ooh, flaky. I feel like I could just pick it up. Easier to eat this way. That's good. All the pastry is very flaky. It's making a mess, but very satisfying. It is about 6:30 a.m. on a Saturday here in Sydney, the day before the marathon. I woke up at about 3 o'clock in the morning today, which is about when I've been waking up every night that I've been here. And I'm not going to worry about it too much because I've been going to bed like before 9 or even around like 8 o'clock every night. So it's a decent amount of sleep. And tomorrow I'm going to have to get up super early anyway. Breakfast starts downstairs at 3:30 in the morning tomorrow. So I think I'm doing okay. I'm going to head out to get some breakfast, and then I got 2 shakeout runs I'm going to do today. But first, let's check the bingo card. Yesterday was a big day. We saw a boomerang in the souvenir shop, which was, I guess, pretty easy. Tasted the Vegemite. We definitely got lost on the group run with Rob. So that's checked off as well. We saw a bunch of koala mascots on food also at the souvenir shop. The souvenir shop was basically kind of like the mother lode for me. So we definitely hit a bingo along that corner. And I thought we were really close to learning some new Australian slang. We met a lot of Aussies yesterday at the On activation, and there was a lot of Australians that were working at the activation, so I thought maybe we'd learn some there. But I don't think I quite picked anything new up, so that might be one that's left for today. Maybe we get a vanilla slice today. I'm trying not to do too much, so we'll have to see. And I would still like to try to get the Moreton Bay bugs. So even though we completed the mission, we got the bingo, maybe we could check off a couple more of these things.
I had told Australian Threads about my Vegemite experience, and they were pretty annoyed. So for breakfast today, I thought I'd try to redeem myself. I toasted a piece of sourdough, slathered on a generous helping of butter, and then thinly scraped some Vegemite on top. And yeah, you know what? This is really good. The creaminess of the butter cuts through the pungency of the Vegemite, and it's like taking your taste buds for a bit of a ride. It's salty, it's sweet, it's bitter, it's savory. It's just delicious. After breakfast, I thought I had time before my first shakeout of the day, so I did my flat lay for the race. But then, when it came time for the sports tour shakeout, it turns out that I had missed it by an hour because I thought the start time was 8:30 and not 7:30 for some reason. This was a bummer because the sports tour shakeout is usually quite pleasant. The one in London was through a lovely park, and the one in Berlin stopped for lots of photo ops. So I was upset that I missed this one. So having missed this run, I returned to my hotel room disappointed until it was a little bit before 10 a.m. when it was time to meet up with Aubrey and Charlie for the shakeout run that we would be hosting.
So now I'm with Aubrey. We're gonna go to our shakeout run, which we'll have to make some adjustments because of the 5K and just the race generally, but hopefully it'll be all right.
Yo, what's going on?
Oh, hey, how are you?
I'm Carrie. So
Hi,
glad
Carrie.
to meet you.
Nice to
We're
meet
so
you.
excited that you were coming in.
Oh,
we
okay.
saw it on because we follow you religiously, me and
Okay.
my partner. We watch
Okay.
all of your episodes, and we
Okay.
saw you pop up about 2 weeks ago with your series on.
Oh yeah, okay, okay. Okay. Cool, nice to meet you. Love the hat, looks good on you. All right.
It's usually not like this, but when I host a shakeout run for a big race, like a world marathon major, I spend a lot of time taking selfies. I love taking selfies as I think that they are the best souvenirs. And it's a time where I get to meet the people who are watching my shoe review videos and my little reels on Instagram. And it never ceases to amaze me that people watch what I make. I've always been the kid who wasn't really into what the other kids were into, and I was always happy just to be left alone to do the things that I wanted to do by myself. So meeting all of you gives me a profound sense of connection, that the internet has helped me find my people that accept me for who I am and don't make me feel like I don't belong or that I'm not allowed. This is our space. This is our lane. That's what I feel when we get together. And if you come to a Kofuzi Run Club event, I hope that that's what you feel too.
Everyone, thank you everyone for thanks everyone for coming today. What a great turnout. We have great weather.
Who's running City Marathon for the first time tomorrow?
All right, before we go, let's do one quick thing. I'm gonna say yo, and then I'll turn around and you guys will say what's going on. Does that work? Everyone ready? All right. Yo!
I led the group out from Hyde Park and through the Botanical Garden. Aubrey stayed in the back of the pack and Charlie stayed in the middle so that we could accommodate as many paces as possible. The route had to be adjusted into an out and back, and as we passed Miss Macquarie's chair, we stopped to collect everybody and also to take a group photo. And when we returned to Hyde Park, we had time for more conversation and, of course, more selfies.
So my Meta Ray-Bans, the battery dies so fast.
How long did you get?
They were fully charged when I got here. They're dead now. But I did have them recording like the entire time we were taking selfies.
Yeah.
Or I thought I was. I don't know how much I actually got. We'll see. But yeah, that was good.
How are they when you're running?
They kind of slip.
Okay.
They don't fit on my face perfectly. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to. I might get the Oakley ones.
Yeah.
I don't want them in white, but once they make them in another color,
Gotcha.
then I'll be like, try those.
Do you know what? That was
Aubrey, that was a good turnout. What'd you think?
mind blowing.
Yeah.
Mind blowing. I'm telling you this now because it's one of those things where you don't know. It's the other side of the world.
Yeah, exactly.
And a lot of people, when we walked up, so walk into the fountain, you see a crowd and you don't know if it's because they're there because it's a landmark or they're there for the shakeout. And it turned out, like, as soon as people saw us, everyone turns and you knew that they were there for the shakeout run, and it's a big number turned out.
Yeah, it was a great turnout. Thanks everyone for coming.
Great.
Thanks Aubrey for
Probably don't have time for a game of chess.
making it happen.
Yeah, yeah.
That was great. It was a lot of fun.
You know what? Definitely do that again.
Yeah.
Definitely do that again.
Oh man, Australia is treating us so good.
Absolutely, absolutely. I didn't know what to expect, if I'm honest. But you know what, man? Yeah, this definitely needs a rerun. This needs a rerun.
I've got a little bit of time till the next event, and I want to get some food. Now, all up and down the street, this is George Street, there's tons of places to eat, but someone sent me a list of vegetarian and vegan friendly places, and because I've been so busy eating food just like really close to the hotel, I haven't been able to try a lot of them. But I think I'm gonna hop on a train and try what has been described to me as vegan McDonald's.
I was pretty much raised on McDonald's, and even as a pescatarian who can eat some things on the menu, I do find that I overall miss McDonald's. And I know that other countries do get McPlant options, and I would be very happy with that, but we don't have that in the United States. So seeing an entirely plant-based menu here in Australia was really cool. User error prevented me from getting footage of me actually eating the food, but the fries and burger were great. The bun tasted like it was whole wheat, which I'm sure is better for me, but it wasn't exactly what I was looking for. I understand why we can't have something like this in the US for, I guess, trademark reasons, but I sure wish we did. After lunch, Sports Tours had arranged a bus tour of Sydney. This will be a good way to see more of the city without having to be on my feet the day before the race.
This area, instead of being torn down, was redeveloped the next month to make it a theatre precinct. Sydney Harbour Bridge is the largest steel arch bridge in the world. We call it the most famous building in the country, the Sydney Opera House.
Those gorgeous trees are called Moreton Bay trees. They look like they are ancient. This is gorgeous. It's called Rose Bay.
On the right, that's North Sydney. North Sydney is like an extension of the CBD. And if we look, we probably can see your hotel. You can probably see the Hilton to the left. So some of you might want to take a quick photo.
The next stop was at the Gap. It's the place where the harbor meets the sea, and it's also a place infamous for people falling off the cliffs to their deaths. And something that I didn't really quite grasp until I got to this very spot was just how big the Pacific Ocean is. From the Gap, we went to our last stop, Bondi Beach. Now, I already been there earlier in the week, so this time I went to go find my kids some souvenirs.
All right. Made it back to the room. It is a little bit after 5 p.m., but I think I'm in for the night. I got some hand rolls again because that was really tasty and easy. A lot of rice, a lot of carbs. Got some more chips. I went to the Woolworths, which was a grocery store, and I got some honey soy chicken flavor chips. Thought that might be interesting. I don't think there's chicken in these, so it's just chicken flavor, I guess. But I'm gonna eat, make sure I'm hydrated, and then I'll probably do some packing. I have a really early flight Monday morning, or not really early, but it'll feel really early Monday morning flight. So I think as part of just trying to relax and wind down, get some rest before the big day tomorrow, I'll just kind of pack everything that I've already worn, get all the souvenirs packed away so I don't accidentally forget those. Just have an easy night.
Slept pretty well last night. All through the night from like, I think I was in bed by 8, asleep by maybe 8:15, 8:30. And then I woke up at 2:40. So about the amount of sleep that I've been getting since I've been here. I had a mild freak out this morning because I forgot where I put my bib. I couldn't find it, and I thought for a moment that maybe I had left it in a bag that had maybe gotten thrown out by housekeeping. So I was really freaking out, but I found it. Today, I'm gonna have some more Vegemite. Just a little. And then I'm gonna go grab my race shoes, try to go to the bathroom one more time, and then let's meet Ben Johnson. We're going to head over to the race together. Cheers.
This stop is Victoria Cross.
Alright, it took us less than 20 minutes to get from the hotel, get a train, get off here with everyone else, heading towards the green staging area.
I said goodbye to Ben and then entered my green staging area.
Bye-bye.
And I arrived right when everything opened, so there were no lines for any of the bathrooms. There's no race day bag check, so at that point, all I had to do was relax and wait until I get into the C corral.
Looks like the Pacers just came out. There's 3:15 over there. They're moving us forward a little bit.
We are ready for the 2025 PCS Sydney Marathon presented by Asics. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go!
Shortly after the start, my watch strap broke. The watch itself was fine, but I wouldn't be able to wear it. So when I crossed the starting line, I started the watch and then tucked it into a pocket. I was going to be flying blind. The first 5K of this race is very downhill. I'd say it's more downhill than Boston, and it's probably closer to what the start of the LA Marathon is like, if you're familiar with that race. There's a bit of an uphill for Harbor Bridge, but the views are gorgeous, and the energy is high as you crest the bridge into another big downhill. The next 5K is rolling and winding. Everyone tends to run the road and not the tangents here, but it was still so early and so crowded that you kind of had to go with the flow. The third 5K takes you under Harbor Bridge and gets you another view of the Opera House before you hit the first really big hill of the race at about the 13K mark.
That wasn't a steep hill, but it was a long, consistent one.
between 15 and 20K, we got to see the lead men as they were returning towards the end of their race. And we hit our first out and back on the course, which was a slight uphill grade on the way out. 20 to 25K is one big out and back, and it has a gentle grade up on the way out, but it's a nice wide open road that's easy to fall into a rhythm. A little after 25K, there's the second big hill of the race as you enter Centennial Park. And from what I had heard from some locals, I was led to believe that this would be a particularly difficult part of the course. And when you look at the map, it does indeed look like it's going to be challenging. But the energy in the park was some of the best on course, and I'm super bummed that some user error on my part had been missing some of the highest energy cheering sections.
Okay. The energy is so good, dude. Centennial Park. It's awesome.
Coming out of the park was tough as you had to climb back uphill, and from there, after the 35K mark, that's when all the Ks start to feel really, really long. But at this point, you're coming back through the high energy and big downhill of Potts Point, and you're almost there. Almost. I was cruising until I got to the last real tough part of this course at the Botanical Garden at 38K. There's a noticeable hill to get into the park, and then after a short downhill into Mrs. Macquarie's chair, that's where you hit the third remarkably big hill of the course. And this is when the 3:15 pacer that I was trying to stay in front of caught up to me. I started to panic because whenever a pace group has caught up to me in the past, I've never been able to hold them off. But this time was different. At the 41K mark, when all the climbing for this race was finally over, I was able to put some distance between me and that pacer. The last downhill of this race feels even bigger than the downhill at the start, and once you hit the bottom of the hill, you'll see the Harbor Bridge and make a slight turn to get to the home stretch of the Opera House steps. This area is paver stones, but it's very stable and smooth, and the finish line is gorgeous. I can't think of a single race that allows the public this close to the finish line, and it's almost intimidating at just how exposed you are there. But as tight as things were, there was enough room for me to indulge in one of my favorite marathon things, turning around and watching everyone else come in. I was able to spot my friend and New York Marathon race director Ted Metellus at the finish line. Ted was there to give me my 6-star medal in Berlin, and when my friend Tommy Runs and I gave a seminar at the running event last November, Ted was in the audience to support us. Ted is an ally and a friend, and he gives the best hugs.
Oh, finished the race. That was tough. The walk afterwards is pretty long, and starting to shiver. I didn't do back check because my hotel's pretty close, so I'm just gonna try to walk home real fast. But to get there, I have to go up this hill.
It may seem like you're under some kind of a spell. You're walking on sunshine, feeling extra well. You're all smiles, happy as you can be. Feels like a dream, but can't you see that it's just me? Said it's just me. It's just me. It's just me.
Now it's time for after parties. There are 3 places I'm trying to go today. The first one is the Runner after party.
Feel like you've been blessed by the gods above.
The Runner after party was on a rooftop, and I was one of the first runners to get there. I made some friends with the local Runner office and had some vegetarian food and, of course, some beers. The temps were mild, but the sun was intensely warm. Sydney's sunshine is like nothing else I've experienced, and I was like a salamander on a rock, just soaking in the warmth. After a couple beers, more runners started to arrive, and it was a full-on party. But by then, it was time for me to meet Aubrey at the next stop.
All right, leaving the Runner party. It was glorious to soak up some of the sun and have a couple of beverages on that rooftop bar. Now, let's over to the Brooks boat.
Making you feel so fine. Yeah, it's not your favorite song. Not a hard day's work or a good night's sleep. Oh, darling, it's just me.
Just missed it.
It's just me.
So we were gonna try to go to the Brooks party, but I thought that the Brooks party was a docked boat party. Like we could just hop on, hop off whenever. I didn't think that it was important to get there at a certain time, but apparently that boat is sailing, or I guess cruising around the harbor. So I just missed it, and also Aubrey would have missed it too, so couldn't get on that boat, which is a bummer. I was really looking forward to that. So instead, I'm going to walk over to Aubrey now, and we're just trying to find a place to hang out and celebrate. Congratulations! Congratulations! PR today?
Oh man, I'm hyped.
Did you get a PR today?
A minute.
Amazing, amazing. Congratulations. Congratulations.
I didn't want to suffer from dehydration.
No, of course not. Of course not. Yeah, you got to fill the electrolytes back up.
Electrolytes, that's it. That's it.
Right.
Aubrey got us a table at a harborside restaurant near his hotel, and we had a nice celebratory meal.
Me in the garden where the wildflowers bloom. Forever.
Congratulations. That was a lovely dinner with Aubrey. Now I'm gonna head over to the Sports Tours party.
The Sports Tours party was on the harbor across from the Opera House. There were celebratory drinks to welcome you as you came in. There was live music, great food, and most importantly for marathoners, there were chairs. I spent the evening relaxing with Charlie and Kim and her family. We traded stories about how our marathons went. The night was crisp and the heaters were hot, and the views were a spectacular ending to a wonderful week celebrating Sydney's first year as a World Marathon Major.